I think I've talked about this a couple times. It's just about listening to the client.
Yeah.
Listening to what they are truly saying. You know, a lot of times they have an issue and you can't identify their issue if you're not listening. You know, but when you finally listen and you connect with the client on a real level, you know, that client, again, is looking for help.
Right.
They need help. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking to you.
All right, guys, welcome to TNL. Got my man Michael Terry with us today. How we doing, bro?
I'm good, man.
Good. Do you go by Michael or Mike?
I don't care.
You don't care?
It doesn't
Just
matter.
I'm also a Michael, you know,
Yeah.
but I go by Mike to most people. So
Yeah, some people call me Mike, some people call me Terry, some people call me Michael Terry.
All right.
Doesn't
Call you
really
Terry.
matter.
I like that. That
That
way I
works.
won't get confused here.
Yeah,
So.
too many Mikes.
Yes, dude, always, bro. Like, I'm sure growing up you dealt with the same shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like 3 Mikes in every class.
Mike,
like,
Mike, and Mike.
Yeah, like, dude, y'all come up with a different name? Holy shit.
You spell yours AEL or EAL?
AEL.
That's the correct way.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Honestly, it drives me crazy when people spell EAL.
Right. Like, you know, why are you getting all creative with the name Michael?
I've never met a single person that
No.
spells their name EAL.
Hey, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, and Mike Tyson all were AEL. So I'm gonna go with that, dude. Don't screw it up, right? But this is next level, dude. We talk about sales stuff here, and on your True Talk, we had we're talking about getting the policy, right? You're telling a story about a client that you helped who had a graded policy, and their health actually would allow them to get a level death benefit. You were able to move that client over. Client unfortunately passed after making one payment. Policy paid because you did your job. The family got $15,000 versus maybe $1,000.
Right.
What he would have got with the graded policy. And the reason I bring that up is getting that policy is so important in any appointment.
Correct.
What's funny about, I don't say it's funny, but something about this business, I got my license in 2009, and you would think, you know, we're in 2025, right? 15, 16 years later, everything must be so different in the industry. That's true to an extent, but the same concepts that worked back then are the same things y'all are doing now. It's just different tools, different process.
Right.
It was always about connecting with the client, getting them to buy you versus the product, right? It was always about putting the client first. From a salesperson, it was always attitude, activity. All these things still are key principles today. It's just technology, things have changed.
Correct.
But one thing that we were always huge on back then was if I'm in your house and you tell me you have a policy, unless I see it, you don't have a policy.
Correct.
I remember, well, I don't know where it's at. Well, then we're not even going to talk about that because you don't even know where it is.
Right.
So you die, how are you even going to get the money? Knock
Correct.
it off. Or go find it, right?
Yep.
Or let's call the client or call the carrier. But unless I got that information, I cannot proceed as if you have a policy.
Right.
And the same thing on the phone, right? You guys are predominantly final expense. You and your
majority,
group,
yes.
Majority. Telesales.
Correct.
You're doing one call close, appointments, a mixture.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. You shooting for the one call close normally?
We like one call closes.
Yeah.
But we know that that's not always a realistic expectation for every client.
Right.
Because each client's needs are totally different.
Yeah, got it. But if it's there, you're going to try to go
Of course,
that route.
yeah.
I'm assuming this policy, I don't even want to call it objection, but it comes up on the phone too, right?
Yeah.
How many times you call someone and they go, no, Michael, I already have a policy?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Now, you're not in the home, so you can't
Right.
go, hey, is it in that drawer over there? But talk to me about, number one, why you feel it's so important, but also how are you training your agents and how, when you were in the field, how are you getting that policy over the phone?
I mean, it's just, again, right? I think I've talked about this a couple times. It's just about listening to the client.
Yeah.
Listening to what they are truly saying. You know, a lot of times they have an issue and you can't identify their issue if you're not listening. You know, but when you finally listen and you connect with the client on a real level, you know, that client, again, is looking for help.
Right.
They need help. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking to you.
Correct.
So if you can connect with them and build a real, genuine relationship with them, you can help them accomplish anything.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, hey, I need you to get a copy of your policy and send it to me via email. Hey, let's call into the insurance carrier. They're going to do that because they know that their needs are at the forefront of your mind.
So I'm on the phone with you. I'm going, yeah, no, I got a policy, dude. I already got it taken care of.
Yeah, perfect. What do you have?
Oh, I got a whole life, dude.
Oh,
It's
that's
like
great.
20,000.
So you obviously know that it's important to protect your family.
Yes, 100%.
That's Mike. That's great. You've already taken a huge step in a direction that most people don't go.
Yeah.
Who do you currently have your policy with?
I don't remember, dude. It's some guy got it for me.
Perfect. Did you just come to your house?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he just came in, sold you a policy, left. Probably haven't heard from him since, huh?
I have not. No, it's been a few years.
When was the last time you had a policy review?
Never.
So do you know what kind of coverage you have?
Yeah, it's whole life. Yeah.
Do you know like your death benefit?
It's like 20,000.
It's like 20,000, or it is 20,000?
It's 20,000, pretty
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're paying on that each month?
$50.
Okay, cool. So let me do this. It's probably time for a policy review.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and take a look at that policy, make sure that everything's up to date and you're good to go.
Got it. You just keep bringing them back to that.
We just keep moving forward.
Now, what if I'm sure you've heard this? I don't know where it is right now. It's going to take me a while to find it.
Who's drafting the money out of your bank account?
It's United.
United?
Yeah.
United of Omaha?
Yes.
So Mutual of Omaha?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So we can go ahead and give them a call real quick and make sure that you have what you think you have.
Yep. And notice how, you notice this, but y'all watching how he's here the whole time.
Yep.
Whatever, I don't know what you're just like, oh, really? You're just continuing it's like you and your friend having a conversation.
Correct. And that's any kind of sale.
Yeah.
It's just, I was talking to Andy Ogle was a youth pastor at my high school. He reached out to me the other day. He was like, hey, can you call my son? He's thinking about getting into sales.
Yeah.
Kid's like 19 years old. I gave him a call, talked to him. And I just told him, he was like, hey, I'm thinking about buying, this sales book and this sales book and this sales training. And I'm on Instagram. I found this sales influencer, I'm like,
sales influencer.
But I told him, I was like, dude, sales is just about communication.
Right.
It's about communication. It's about building relationships. I said, go out to the grocery store and go talk to a stranger.
Yeah.
Strike up a conversation with a stranger and make it natural. You're going to get more sales development out of that than you're going to get out of one of these, sales influencers online that have never sold anything.
100%. You learn a lot more from running one appointment than you will from listening to hours of training. And I'm not saying you listen to the training,
right?
But do both.
Correct.
Right. You got some guys that they want to get all the training in, right? No, I got to watch a few more videos, Terry, before I get out there.
Yeah.
You got anything else on this?
I've got something. Pick up the phone.
Yeah, pick up the phone. Because here's the thing about the training. Until you've run an appointment, you don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
Correct.
Right? Like,
Correct.
You've never been in that situation. It's like trying to learn how to shoot a basketball by reading books about it.
Yeah.
Dude, you've never. I'm waiting, Mike, until I get it all down. Then I'm going to take my first shot. Just go shoot some and see how bad you suck, and then see what you need to work on,
and then make adjustments from there.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key, right? Get it, whether you close, don't, whatever happens. But now you've ran one. Now I can go back and call you and go, bro, this is what happened. I said this. Where did I go wrong? But now we got something to work with.
When I first got into our old sales company, Matt, again, he was the director of sales at the company we worked at.
Yeah.
And I would go in after every single one of my appointments, and he was at a much higher level than me. And I would just walk into his office. I'd be like, "Hey, this is what just happened." He's like, "Dude, I'm in the middle of 10 things." I was like, "That's perfect, but this is what this is what just happened." So he's like, "Dude, get the hell out of my office." I'm like, "All right, I'll be back in 10 minutes."
Right.
But it's important to go and take those reps.
Yeah.
And actually shoot your shots.
Right.
Because you can read and you can study and you can train all you want, but when it's game time, it's still game time, and you're gonna have to make adjustments in real time.
Right.
And then come back to the drawing board, when you have your 30-second timeout, come back, make more adjustments, and then move forward.
Absolutely. We talked a little bit about that one situation where it was a death claim, but you got the policy, right? So someone who's never ran an appointment, they're like, dude, what do you mean call the carrier? Like, what are you doing on the phone? Like, so you're telling me, hey, let's call the carrier.
Yeah.
You're calling them on three-way, walking through it. Like, walk me through how that goes.
Yeah, you call into the insurance carrier with the other client and say, hey, my client here wants to know what kind of insurance they have. The carrier will generally then ask the client, do you give us permission to speak to Mr. Terry on your behalf? Yes, I do. Okay, perfect. Can you explain to my client, Mary, what kind of insurance she has, the amount of death benefits she has? Can you just explain to her what her policy entails of?
Yep.
And it's as simple as that.
Right.
It's that simple.
And the thing about the person you're talking to is not a sales guy.
No.
It's just a customer service rep, right? They're just going to tell you exactly what it is. Yeah, they have a 10-year term, or they have a whole life, but it goes up every year.
Correct.
And like, what are some things you should ask? Well, is it accidental or real life insurance, right?
Yep.
Does it expire ever? Does the premium ever go up? Is it a full death benefit from day one?
Yep.
I mean, it's simple stuff.
Very simple stuff.
And
it's a lot of the same questions you're asking the client.
Right.
You're just asking the carrier.
Correct. And then from there, so like this example, the one you talked about, did he have his policy, or did you guys have to call the carrier?
We called in.
You had to call?
Yeah, we had to call in.
Did he know it was graded?
No.
No.
He didn't.
That's what you'll learn, too, is like, when you were asking me, I'm like, I don't know, around 20,000. Because most people have no idea.
Correct.
And they'll tell you, dude. I swear to you, bro, it's whole life. I got $100,000 the whole life, Michael. Yeah, you and everybody else, dude.
Yeah. But again, it goes back to that agent.
Right.
That agent didn't do their job.
Correct.
And because of that, they didn't put the client in the best position possible. And so that's our job at our company, is to put the client in the best position possible.
You mentioned communication. I think some people, when they hear communication, that it translates to them talking. Communication it's two-way. It's talking and listening, which you've said several times. Communication is not just talking.
Correct.
Because if I'm talking the whole time and ain't listening to you, we're not communicating. I'm just yapping.
Yes, you're talking at me.
I'm talking at you.
Yeah.
And then anything you're saying, I'm not even picking up on because I won't shut up.
Correct. Yeah.
And if you do that in the home, what's going to happen?
They're going to tell you to leave.
Absolutely.
Every time. You're
not going to be able, they'll tell you to leave, or you talk so much, y'all become best friends.
And then they need to think about it.
They need to think about, of course, right? If they're your friend, I'll get back to you. I know, I'll always call you back.
Come swing by next week.
Yeah. I love that, dude. I remember my first week out, I had like a folder of go backs. It's like, I'm trying to sell Sean. I'm like, dude, no, this one, I'm telling. They told me that they would never not call me back. Like, and then he looked at the wife, and she validated it. They start selling you hard too. Like, right, honey? We always call people. Oh yeah, never.
Be back bus.
Right. And like, I'll write your number down here. You got a card? I'll write it on here. Like, oh God.
Yeah.
And then they don't call you back.
Yeah, the be back bus doesn't come back.
No, never, dude. Never. But that communication is so key. And like you said, listening to your client. Like, ask them questions, let them talk. They'll tell you their pain points.
Correct.
You don't even have to pull it out.
No.
Just ask them, get them talking.
I think a lot of people forget that, insurance, especially coming from other sales industries, a lot of sales are a push sale.
Right.
It's very push the product. But with insurance, it's not a push, it's a pull.
Right.
It's more of a ask a question. Let me figure out what your problem is, and let me see what I can provide you as a solution.
Right.
When you can provide a solution to a problem, they are coming to you instead of you having to push towards them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hear all these other companies and different industries. Whatever their product is, dude, it's always the best product, right?
It's always the best. It's the number one product in the market.
Yep, like what market, dude? Like how are they all number one? They're always.
Where's your market research here?
Seriously, doing it yourself, bro? Like, come on. But everything, right? Like whether it's the best juice set, the number one supplement all bodybuilders use, or this one, like knock it off, dude. The number one Tupperware, the best vacuum ever. Sure.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. And if you're selling our products like that, you're not going to make sales. You're not going to help people.
Never.
Because like I said, we were talking on the other podcast, dude, the products are the products.
Yeah. It's when you're going to make a payment, and then whenever you die, the company's going to pay your family.
Absolutely.
It's that simple.
There's some other bells and whistles, but in a nutshell, they're not that deep.
No. And to be honest, most people don't care about the bells and whistles.
Correct.
The only thing they care about is how much am I paying each month,
Yep.
and what does my family get when I die.
100%, dude.
That is it.
We didn't have half of these riders and shit back in the day, and we sold just as much. Like,
exactly.
It was that benefit. When return of premium was like new when we got into it, and it was like, dude, oh my God. They look at IULs now, like, what, I get my money back?
How does this work?
Yeah. This sounds like a scam. They're going to give me all. I'm like, dude, trust me. They know how to make money off your money, But anything else on getting the policy out, like over the phone? Any key, if brand new agents, some key tips?
Just talk to the client.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. There's not some big secret. It's really just communicate with the client efficiently. Listen to what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's the biggest key that I push to a lot of my agents is listen to what the client is saying on the other end of the phone.
Yep.
Because they're going to tell you everything that they need help with today.
Correct. And I think a lot of it happens before you even get in the home. It's
Absolutely.
Your mindset,
It's 100%.
And people that watch it like, that's all you talk about. I'm like, yeah, because that's all it really is. That and your work ethic.
Correct.
But it's the psychology of what we do and who we're dealing with. You mentioned this, like they want help. You were cold calling, you were door knocking, right? And previous set, that's different. They didn't ask you for shit.
No.
You're up on their step like, hey, can I sell you this?
Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, dude, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm here to sell you something. How's it going?
Right. Like, dude, I'm trying to have my coffee and read a newspaper and get off to work. Yeah, I'm here to sell you a bunch of solar panels. You want to buy some? Like, oh, my God. But it's knowing who our clients are. I don't care what type of lead, if it's an old lead, new lead, internet, direct mail, whatever. You are dealing with someone. When they say hello on that other end, you're dealing with someone that has already expressed interest in life insurance.
Correct.
They've decided they need life insurance.
Correct.
And you cannot forget that. You got to bring that into your appointment.
And you have to remember, most of them already have insurance.
Right.
A lot of people have insurance.
Yeah.
And they believe in the product and they want more.
Correct. Dude, it's like, who buys cars? People that already have cars. Yeah. Right? Like, who buys Apple products? Someone that already has some Apple products.
I've got 1,000 of them. I keep buying them.
Yeah. Like, I bet that's not your only suit, right? Like,
No.
you know, so like, you think, oh, I have this one policy. Oh, we're done. No, dude, there are people who buy life insurance.
Yes.
And I don't have the LIMRA stat up, but there's, I think, 75% of people either have none or don't have enough life insurance.
Most people don't.
Most people don't. I mean, how many times have you met with a client where you're like, no, you're good, dude. I don't need to sell you anything.
I mean, a handful.
Handful?
Yeah, and those,
out of thousands?
a handful.
Yeah.
Yeah, small handful. But yeah, majority of people, they need more.
Right.
You know, and it's the worst thing that they can do if they buy more is their family gets more money when they die.
Correct. Dude, the guy who has the financial advisor and has an estate and all these things is not filling out a lead.
No.
Like, know who our clientele is, too.
Correct.
These are people that for years prior to, I mean, go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, insurance companies wouldn't even talk to our clients because they weren't rich.
Right.
Right? I mean, when growing up, we never had no one come to the house try to sell us life insurance.
Right.
Never once.
I didn't either.
No.
At all.
We weren't rich.
No, not at all.
But most companies, they get, you know, they got the guy with the 3-piece suit, the pie charts, all this shit, probably a sweater vest, right? And they got this big presentation, but they're chasing the guy. They meet with him 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times for one big policy.
Yeah.
In that time, you've already met with 30 people for, you know, $100 policy, 120. But
in shorts and a t-shirt.
Shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
But these are clients that have been underserved for years.
Correct.
But,
and they need it more than anybody.
Absolutely.
They're our clientele are the people that need insurance the most.
Yep.
You know, and it's a huge market that has been neglected for years.
Right.
You know, which is why I love what FFL does. It's they really do focus on the people that really need the product.
Yeah. That's something that I didn't realize. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I got an insurance license because I needed to make money, and I heard the type of money you could potentially make. I was not, dude, 22 years old thinking, I'm going to protect family. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
But once I started doing it, I was like, wow, this feels awesome.
Yeah.
And then you get a few death claims and you realize the impact that you have. But how good does it feel? Now, I've never sold any of these other things. I never sold vacuums or knives.
Right.
I got to imagine, like, you sell someone a new vacuum cleaner, you're not walking out like, I just changed their life. You know, like come on, dude. Yeah. They had a vacuum before, right? Yeah. Like, okay, this one sucks up more dirt than the other one. I gotcha, cool. You know, or these knives, dude. I tell you what, man, cutting these tomatoes, it's changed their lives dramatically, you know.
Major impact.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but that feeling of knowing that, you know, I met with this family that a lot of times had no life insurance. And I mean, you meet with all kinds of people. Some people believe they couldn't get. How many times have you heard this? You can't cover me.
All the time.
All the time, right?
A couple times a week.
I've had people come out before. There's no way. And you're like, yeah, okay, dude. Are you in a nursing home? No. You're on oxygen? No. You can walk, right? All right. Well, I'm not seeing any reason why I can't cover you.
Right.
And then lo and behold, you go, dude, here's your options.
Yep. It's because generally a captive agent came in and only had one product.
That's a good thing for this business is, like, there's not a lot of competition out there for us.
Correct.
Not to be an ass, but, like, there's really
not.
No.
There's not at all.
No, there's no number 2 company.
No, that's why we're number 1.
Absolutely. By far.
By a long shot.
So if you are in insurance or in any sales, join us first.
Yes. Go to the winning team.
100%, dude. But that feeling of knowing that you did impact that family. You did put something in place that will dramatically impact that family's life for generations. Like, I'm not being dramatic, but having $200,000 of a death benefit, paying off a mortgage, paying off somebody's funeral expenses.
It can make the difference between homelessness and not.
Absolutely. Dude, not having this impacts families for generations.
Absolutely.
Because, again, we're not dealing with the wealthiest families in the world. We're dealing with middle America.
Absolutely.
Dude, a middle American family gets $20,000 in debt, it will wreck them.
Most people don't have 10 grand in savings.
No. Dude, if we had, as growing up, my family, if we had $20,000 in debt dropped on us from somebody dying, we would have been homeless.
It would have crippled my family too. Yeah, 100%.
Or major breadwinner. You know, my dad passes and then we still got a mortgage.
We would have been.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
It would have been bad.
Yeah.
You know, but that's our clientele.
Yep.
You know, and that's why I love what we do so much.
Yeah.
Because I do relate to it a lot from my childhood. So
Yeah, absolutely. And we meet some crazy people doing this, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah, like you had a story. I'm not even gonna build. We're talking about it a little bit before. All I know is I was walking in, and then Taylor's like, "Oh, you gotta hear about the eyepatch." I'm like, "What the hell, eyepatch?" Yeah. Now your story is based on like you were getting up to go to the bathroom, and then everything kind of went to shit at that point, right?
Yeah, it was chaos, man. I mean, it was me and Jarrett Vickers.
Yeah.
So like he was in a little bit of a slump. So
Yeah.
like we used to break that up. We used to be like, hey, you know, I'm gonna go run appointments with you. You know, let's go have a good time. Let's have a good day.
Yeah.
You know, hang out together all day. So we
Okay.
were just trying to break it up. So up to this guy's house, got in there. We sat down on the couch. Guy had his hospice nurse there, and he was in a wheelchair, and he was just looking for insurance. He just wanted some help.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to pull my iPad out and got my pen out, and I've got my notebook, and I can't remember what I dropped, but I had my pen out and I dropped something, and when I leaned down, I stabbed myself in the eye with a ballpoint pen. And so I told the dude, I was like, hey, excuse me, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. You know, and I wear contacts, so I was like, I can't see. Let me see if I poked a hole in my contact, and I'm in the bathroom, like doing like one of these. I see I got a hole in my eye. I can't see shit.
Yeah.
And so I go back and sat down on the couch, and I'm like, hey, I apologize. It's my bad.
Yeah.
And he goes, is this some sort of hoopla? And like pulls a gun out on me and Jarrett. And
Wait, the guy in the wheelchair.
the guy in the wheelchair
on hospice
with his hospice nurse
pulls
there,
out a gun.
pulled a gun out on the insurance guy, you know. And so, you know, that appointment ended pretty quickly.
Yeah,
we went to the next one.
That's hysterical. So rule of thumb is no, you had to go up to you use the bathroom after you poked yourself in the eye.
I couldn't see. I had to make sure I didn't ruin my eyeballs forever.
You had to wear eye patch?
I did, yeah.
For how long?
It was about 3 weeks. I went to the eye doctor. I had a hole in my eye about that big.
Wow.
And because I legitimately stuck the whole tip of the ballpoint pen.
Man, you got yourself good.
Oh, I got myself good, yeah. And I wore that eye patch for about 3 weeks. I think that next week, I think I wrote like $15,000 that next week, actually.
I bet it was a conversation every appointment.
Every single appointment. They were like, oh my gosh, honey, I'm so sorry you went through that. Can I get
So
a
it helps
policy?
you make more. It was a sacrifice, dude. You sacrificed your eyes to help you protect more families. I felt bad for you.
100%.
Was this early on, or how long have you been with us at this point?
We had been in the industry for about a year and a half at this point.
So I can't blame it on you being nervous in the appointment.
No, I don't know what happened, to be honest. It was just a freak accident.
It's like, dude, I guess what is crazier, poking yourself in the eye with a ballpoint pen, or the guy on hospice in a wheelchair just pulling out quick draw on you, like, dude, he was ready too.
Oh, he was. I mean, he had it covered with a blanket. He was just sitting there. I mean, he was probably sitting there like that before we came in.
Yeah.
So,
dude,
but yeah, we ended up leaving pretty
too.
quickly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, some crazy stuff.
but one of those ones that we just unfortunately can't help, you know.
Yep, absolutely. Do you have a favorite client interaction, something that stands out as, whether most impactful or?
Man, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I bet.
I wouldn't say there's one specific that stands. It probably the guy that I told you about earlier.
The death benefit one, yeah.
The death benefit one. That one really does stick out hard in my mind. But
yeah.
I mean, any impact that we can make is memorable.
Right. How often do you use that story in other appointments?
I use it not so because I'm not in the field too much anymore.
Right.
But I share it with all of our agents.
Yeah.
Every single one of our agents, I tell them, because a lot of times they just don't know the importance of what we do.
Correct. And I think that's one of the biggest things about having a good team is being able to share those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you've been, if you're selling at a high level,
mm-hmm.
you've sold for over a year or two, and I'm a new agent, there's not a situation that I'm going to run into that you haven't already dealt with.
Correct.
It's why it's 100%. So key. You don't need to sell for 10 years.
No.
But I've said this since we started Family First Life. You should not recruit unless you know how to sell.
100%. I believe that as well. Well, I'm going to take that back. I did believe that until obviously we have with our group with Horizon, we have a lot of structure and a lot of processes in place. We have a lot of leaders and a lot of offices. I think it's totally fine for our agents to bring people on when they're brand new and they don't know anything.
But you have a process set up already.
But we do have a process.
Yep.
I think the problem with a lot of times with new agents is they want to bring, 1,000 people in, but they don't have any processes, they don't have any systems, they don't have any experience, they don't have an upline that they can rely on.
Correct.
Because maybe that upline just wants to sit back and collect a check.
Right.
So I think it's important to have those systems and processes in place if you are going to recruit like that.
Right. And I'm not saying everyone has to be Steve Giordano.
No.
But you have to at least have done, because if I'm brand new and I'm calling you for help and you never sold anything.
Exactly.
You got to get out the way.
Yes.
The worst is you've never sold and you're going to coach me. Well, here's what I would have done in that situation, Mike. Bro, you don't sell. You would have done nothing. You wouldn't have been in that situation.
Yeah.
But
you've never been in that situation.
100%. It's why I think every should do something.
Yes.
Because you got to know what it's like to be out there.
Or get around a group of people that knows what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, and don't be that guy. Hey, if you're not going to sell, you don't have the right to teach, train, or coach anyone.
Absolutely not.
On sales.
Absolutely not.
You want to coach them on recruiting? You're a badass recruiter? Have at it.
Go for it. But if you've never sold a policy, speak about what you know about.
Absolutely. And that I think we do a good job of that here, but obviously, we ain't perfect. It happens.
Nobody is.
But there's some companies you go and like the guy doing a sales training, dude hasn't sold in 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what are you even talking about? Yeah. And why can't someone tell him not to train anymore?
Yeah. Somebody needs to.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you've never sold a policy. You're not training anymore.
Right. Or back when you used to sell, dude, they were going to the house picking up the debits every month.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even have like checks back then.
Yeah.
Knock it off. Yeah. Come on. But that's one of the things I've always loved about our mentality here is, you saw it at convention. Mm-hmm. You're not on stage unless you're doing something.
Correct.
And it's not a knock to anyone who's been there and taking time, whatever. But if I'm going to an event, I want to hear from the people that are doing it right now.
It's interesting though, if you look at it over the last, because this was our 4th convention.
Yeah.
The people that are doing it at a high level have continued to do it at a high level.
Right. And
they continue to do it year after year after year after year after year. So
why do you think that is?
Oh, it's because of the culture that you guys have created.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
A culture of work ethic, culture of taking care of families, culture of taking care of agents.
Right.
That culture is contagious.
Yeah. It's a winning culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's winning with us? Winning with us is breaking records, is growing every year, getting better every day, and getting new people started. Because the other thing, we can talk a lot about this here. We talked about how the clients and positions they're in, you do a lot of recruiting. Mm-hmm. Most people that you're recruiting are not financially stable. Is that fair?
To a point.
Like they need help. They want to better their situation.
A lot of our people are in a position where they're looking for a better opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. So it's either time or money, right?
Correct.
So maybe they're making money, got no time.
Correct.
Or, you have no money, you have a bunch of time. Yeah.
Correct. It's one or the other.
Right. But you're not dealing with guys that are like independently wealthy and just, dude, I was bored, I wanted to sell life insurance.
No. Those are red flag.
Yeah. Yeah. If a guy comes in, he's like, I don't have any money. It's just, everything's perfect, Mike. I just wanted to get into life insurance to, be more fulfilled.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, exactly. How about, hey, we're not
hiring anymore.
It's funny that you say that all positions have just been filled. Yeah. We're going to move on. But that's why it's so important when you do start recruiting. Mm-hmm. I heard this years ago. You give up the right to be average and ordinary when you recruit your first agent.
You also give up the right to be selfish.
Absolutely. Because now you got somebody else that you're almost responsible for in a way. Mm-hmm. You feel that when you bring on agents, like it's your job?
I am responsible.
You are.
It's not, I don't feel, I am responsible for that agent's success. Yep. In one aspect or another, whether that's training them, whether that's helping them get up and moving financially with leads, whatever it is. If we're going to bring somebody on, because we are very selective with who we bring on.
Yeah.
If we're going to bring that person on, we are going to make sure that agent succeeds.
Yeah.
Period.
Absolutely.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because again, that agent has a family.
Right.
Might have a kid or a wife or so, they have somebody that depends on them, even if it's just themselves.
Yeah.
But when they decide to join your organization, you become responsible for them. Mm-hmm. You become responsible for their success. And I think a lot of people forget about that.
Yeah. It goes back to what we talked about, a bunch was putting them first. Mm-hmm. You've got obviously you still want to keep doing what you're doing, but
absolutely.
You've hit Hall of Fame. You guys are on the track for Agency Hall of Fame. Like you guys are growing like crazy, but now you got this new guy who's never done anything here yet. Maybe he's in some type of situation he wants to get out of. Mm-hmm. And it's, I want to say you promised him, but you sold him this deal. Hey, here's what we do.
Right.
I can teach you how to make money. All right. now he makes that move. Now put your money where your mouth is.
Correct.
And put them first and I think some of the best teams, you see a lot of that. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of the leaders leading by example, being the first one there, last one gone. I mean, Sean was always the first one at the office, dude, and the last one to leave.
Right.
When he didn't need to be.
Right.
You know? And it was, I think this is something that's key when you guys are building and growing. You don't want to ask your agent to do anything you're unwilling to do. Correct. Or haven't done.
Correct.
It's huge.
Well, how are they going to know where to go?
Right.
I mean, you're the one that lays the blueprint out for them.
Yep.
A new agent's gonna do exactly what you either show them to do or tell them to do.
Correct.
Because they don't know.
Right.
They're running in. I mean, a lot of these guys that we bring on, they're running in blind. They've never sold insurance.
Right.
They don't know anything about insurance.
Yep.
You know, and so it's our job as leaders or uplines or whatever you want to call it, you know, to guide that agent into a direction where they can become prosperous for their family.
100%, dude. And it's like the upside is it's so good when you can get there. Yeah. You know?
But that feeling of watching other agents win is just that's like this last year, I've got a guy, Logan Leah, he's been with me for like 18 months, I think. Yeah. And so this last year was his first full year. He wrote $601,000 in annual premium.
Nice.
Issue paid.
He was your top producer?
He was my top producer, yeah. But you know, he got to speak on stage at conference, and like I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Like that moment for me was probably one of my biggest wins. Yeah. You know, getting to see him start to share his story with others to make an impact in other people's lives. That's a huge win. Well, and it's worth more than any money.
100%.
Any amount of money.
It goes back to that, like, you know, when you protect the family, that feeling you get. But now this is a little different. It's more personal, right? Because this is somebody you recruited, you helped train, you helped guide. Now, they got to put in the work. So it's not like, I'm taking the credit because, no, like, you got to guide them, you got to coach them.
Right.
But they got to put the work in.
Absolutely.
They got to have this right. There's a lot. It's almost like a perfect marriage of you know, mindset and work ethic. Correct. But you're there to guide them. But they still got to go work their ass off.
Absolutely.
So if you're watching, I'm going to come over there and Michael's just going to teach me how to make a bunch of money. It's going to be that easy. No, you're going to have to put in work.
You're going to have to work.
A lot. Yeah.
Yes.
Like what, we'll wrap with this, Michael. What is your schedule like now? So you're pretty much out of the field completely somewhat or?
Yeah. I mean, I still, so I do a lot of traveling. So like the last 3 weeks I went and spent a week in our Knoxville office. Trained some agents, took some calls, sold some policies, helped some agents out. But I do a lot of training, a lot of onboarding, do a lot of behind-the-scenes development with Casey and our team. But, you know, it's just the schedule now is where I'm needed.
Yeah.
You know, so if I need to go to Tampa to help, you know, a group of 5 agents get up and moving, I'm going to Tampa.
Right.
You know, it doesn't matter what I have on that schedule that week. The agents come first, so I got to go help them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, the proof is there. Y'all are on track. If you were to continue this pace, you're on track to do 20 million. Mm-hmm. You told me earlier 35.
We're going for 35.
35 million.
Yes.
Yep. Why not? What's stopping you from getting to 35 million?
Nothing.
We're
going to do 35 million this year.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, dude.
I don't either.
No, well, good stuff, dude. I appreciate you coming up and everything you guys are doing. You guys are kicking ass. We had Casey up here recently. I love him. He's a great dude. He has a lot of good stuff going on your team. Absolutely. And it goes back to everything we've talked about, like being that leader, being the one that they can look to, and being the one to lead by example. And also, you can't fake this shit either.
No.
So, like, you're sitting here talking to me, telling me how much you care about your age. They know that.
Yes.
And they have to know that.
Absolutely.
And it goes both ways. But it also doesn't mean that everybody's best friends. No. We're in business.
Still business.
Yeah.
Still got to do things that are uncomfortable.
Yep. Because you get too, you know, it becomes too much of a friendship club. That's when you get hit with that. That's when you get, because, he's my boy. He'll be all right. Or you trust someone too much.
Correct.
You know, at the end of the day, it's still business, but very rewarding for the people that are willing to.
What you want to do and what's best for business are not always the same thing.
Correct.
Actually, they're almost never the same thing.
Never. No, I mean, how many times you got to make a decision that you know is right for business, but you know it's going to upset some people?
A lot of times.
A lot. It is what it is.
But again, long-term vision.
100%. I mean, dude, we go through it here. We talked about some stuff earlier, bonus-wise. It's like, dude, I would have loved to have kept the old bonus program.
Yes.
I can tell you this, though. You wouldn't be here right now.
Correct.
Neither would I.
Correct.
We'd be out of business.
Correct.
How do I know that? Because the bonus we were paying out was outpacing the commissions coming in. I don't have to be a mathematician to know eventually this one's going to be bigger than that one.
Yeah.
And then there's no business.
When your loss is higher than your profit.
We'll be selling this table, these lights and shit, you know. Like, yeah, I got your bonus.
That camera could go.
Yeah. Hey, there's your bonus. That camera back there, you know. But you got to do what's right for the business,
Absolutely.
you know, at the end of the day. Because if we don't have a business, we don't have a place for all of y'all to go out and help families and make some money.
Absolutely.
So. But thanks again, dude, for coming up.
Appreciate you a lot.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys checking us out. Where can you find more of this type of content? Every week right here on The Next Level. Also get registered for annual convention, FFLconvention.com. Get registered for the Ignite conference. That one's free in June in Phoenix, and we'll have one in West Palm as well towards the end of the year. So
Can't wait, man.
Awesome, dude. Between that, you got Cancun. Those things are getting ready to wrap up. Dude, a couple hundred people going down to Cancun.
That's going to be awesome.
Dude, it's crazy. And you think about, like, we're talking about the day-to-day stuff, money, all policies, but bonuses, trips, carrier bonuses.
There's no one that doesn't like it.
What's been your biggest bonus since you've been with us?
Multi 5 figures.
Multi 5 figures.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was good.
Yeah, good. Well, let's get you up to 6 figures this
Hey,
year.
that's what we're working towards.
There we go. Well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for checking us out. Subscribe if you haven't already, and you know where to find us every week right here on The Next Level. We'll see you next week.